Hey y'all! Happy day 3 of your 5-day self-care challenge. Welcoming you all here today on this glorious day 3 where we are going to be focusing on the 5 ways in which you can bring more lightness into these relatively dark times. So please say hello, welcome one another, say that you're here so I see that you're here, and just introduce yourself, where you're coming from, all that good stuff on this glorious morning, afternoon, wherever you may be across the globe. And I'm just going to play a little bit of music to ground us in here. A favorite. Ay, ay, ay. Here we go. A little Ma Muse. Glorious. Good morning, Julie. Sunny in Vernonia. How's that happen? Good morning, Karen from Virginia.
Oh, what a day,
Glorious.
gather round. There's nothing better than a friend.
Nothing better than a friend.
Oh, what a day, glorious. Smell of rain as they stride upon the wind.
Good morning, Cynthia. Afternoon.
I got good friends to the left of me and good friends to my right.
Congrats, Cynthia. Good morning, Laura. North Carolina.
Got a song inside my heart that's singing all along. Oh, what a day.
Good morning, Caroline.
Oh, what a day. What a day. Glorious. All the clouds have gathered round the towers and trees.
Introduce yourselves. Where you coming from? Ketchum, Idaho. Hey, Lisa.
Bitter bad and falling rain I can't believe. All that's green is of its beauty.
Good morning, Jamie from Vernonia, Oregon.
We've been waiting all these days, praying you would come to quench every yearning in our bones. Water with the light.
Jessica from the Appalachians.
It is believing. Has wings of faith.
There we go. Introduce yourself. Say hello. Where you coming from?
Is a pure river of receiving.
Home is a pure river of receiving.
All is well.
All is well.
This is a friendly mystery.
Good morning, Margot and Sarah.
What a day. What a day.
Washington. Margot's coming from Washington. Sarah from Montana. Isn't this incredible? This is incredible.
Oh, what a day.
What a day, glorious.
Deep in the night, we had a raccoon robbery. Bitter bad, little boys are left their
Just let your body move and stretch a little.
Evidence some fruit has fallen to the ground. Bitter bad sings my heart like a thought of a call.
What a day. Oh, what a day. Home is believing.
Is believing.
And you know how you are when you hear this. Home
has the wings of faith.
has the wings of faith. And here's my favorite line. Home is a deep river of receiving. All is well.
All is well.
This is a friendly mystery. There we go. You're showing on up.
All is well.
All is well. This is a friendly mystery. Oh. Good, sweet day 3 to you. I'm so glad you're here. You know, I know it's kind of cheesy that we start out with music and dancing, and it might look like this is, you know, artificially blowing it all up, but I'm just here to say it's not. I'm just right here, and I am doing everything in my power to ground myself down on into the earth, to tap into the highest potential that I can tap into, so that what comes in and through me during these moments that I'm here with you in your very precious time of your life, that I'm able to give everything that I can give that is right on in alignment with the 5 elements of nature and with the light that I know to which we're all connected. So this is self-care to me. This is the way in which that I tap in and I tether to self-care. It's not something that we go out and do. It's how do we bring it into our life? How is it? What music do you listen to throughout your day? What sorts of things are you doing that allow you to connect more completely and more deeply, plugging yourself on in so that you feel that deep connection and that deep grace and the ways in which that you are able to do your best for yourself, others, in the world. And that's what it is all about. That's what it's all about for me. So welcoming you from all across the United States. I don't know if we've got folks from outside of the US in this live call. I know we've got them in the group. We've got London, we've got Greece, I think there's somewhere else in England as well. So I'm just saying good morning to all of you. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Laura, Jessica, Margot from Olympia, Washington. We've got Big Sky, Montana, Appalachias. We've got Oregon. We've got Ketchum, Idaho. More Oregon. We've got Raleigh. We have, say that right, Raleigh. We have more from Vernonia, etc. So we got people from all across the globe, Idaho, etc. So I'm just loving on you. There's another Vernonii. There's sweet Heather, and there's great, a little late. Kelly, you're not late at all. You're just right on time. We're just getting started. We just finished dancing and playing some music. So just a reminder, Baja, Kelly's coming from Baja. Portland, there you go. You're all coming from all across the United States and Baja California or Baja Mexico. So here we are. We're just together today for this day 3, and we're going to jump right on in. So you will have received in your email a response, an automated email that tells you where we've been so far in our day 0, our day 1, our day 2. Those links will remain there. I'll keep gathering those up and send them out each day. And then today we're on day 3. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a review for us. Day 0 was our bookend our day, day 0 was our gaining perspective, looking at the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, looking at rest and reflect, looking at stress response and how we live more completely from that place of rest and reflect. That's day 0. Then day 1 was bookend your day with light. Bookend your day with light is how we turn our attention to the rhythms of light, the cycles of light that are in the universe, and how we bring those into our heart of all hearts. Then the power and greatness of nature was day 2. That was yesterday, where we looked at the 5 elements. How do we bring in more earth, more water, more fire, more air, and more ether? For what purpose? So that we can ground through earth, so that we can be fluid through water, so that we can be nourished through fire, so that we can be inspired through air, and so that we can be free through ether. So these are the 5 elements, because when we touch into those, what we find, and I had this glorious conversation with one of y'all who's not here right now yesterday, but what we find is that we recognize that we have a greater capacity to support ourselves, others, and the world, and to accept ourselves, others, and the world. We then recognize that we have a desire, a deep desire to be compassionate, to be loving, to be supportive, and to accept ourselves, others, and the world. So the desire is there, the The capacity is there, and then our willingness, in other words, what we can will ourselves to do, what fire we've got in our belly, and what we've got in terms of being resourced to be compassionate, to be accepting, to be loving of one another, ourselves, and the world. And so this is what it really comes down to, right? That's why we do this. That's why we're doing self-care, and that's why we want the real deal. That's why we want the deep and lasting aspects of self-care. So we do that through those 5 elements. That was day 2, and day 3 today is, drum roll, how we listen to and tend to the 5 senses. So these 5 ways in which that we essentially are able to come right back into the body. It's so interesting because when we live in this body, when we're fully present and fully engaged in this body, like I'm right here, nowhere else. I'm not spinning off to the past and wishing that my life was more like that or the world was more like that. And I'm not flipping out to the future and praying that things are going to be all right up then, there, and whenever I get there. None of that, but I'm just right here. When I'm in my body and connected to my 5 senses, the synchronicity is that the gateway's open, the portal's open. The portal's open to all potential. Because remember, all these teachings are coming in and through a essential lens that we live in a universe that is good, and that the universe is conspiring on our behalf at all times in all ways to give us exactly, not just what we want, but exactly what we need in order for us to rise into our next best and highest evolution. Right? All is well. This is a friendly universe. This is a friendly mystery in which we live. And so that's the high intention. That's where we're coming in and through. Because that's essentially when we interconnect the relaxation response and the stress response. We might call it our central nervous system. Not parasympathetic all on its own, not sympathetic all on its own, but the places where everything within us has integrity, where it's all in communication, where it's all laying out the highest intentions for us to be deeply rooted and plugged into our potential. So that that which we have come here to do, whatever that may be, is aligned with the highest good of ourselves, others, in the world. So that's where we go. So we're listening to and tending to the 5 senses today. 5, right? So we know what those are. Nose, what you smell. Tongue, what you taste. Eyes, what you see. Ears, what you hear. And skin, what you sense, right? So we're going to recognize, make a little shift so that we shift our perspective, we shift the way in which we see these 5 senses as not being exclusive to the physical body, but being the gateways into your inner world, so that you are able to feel and sense your energy, direct your energy, and gather information about where you might make a subtle change here, there, or another place to give yourself a little bit more TLC. You also will catch earlier where things are starting to go sideways, so that you can gently and consciously bring things back into alignment in all the right ways. So I'm going to tell a little story, a real story that happened yesterday that I've already touched upon, but I'm going to go into it a little bit more deeply. So one of my dear soul sisters and I were having a little conversation, we'll call it, yesterday about how someone in her life, a beloved in her life, was sort of passively suggesting that she wasn't getting quite enough attention, right? This person was not getting quite enough attention. And so my friend, my soul sister, said, hey, what do you think? Do you think that I should address this? And I said, yeah, address it, but not with her. Address it right here. Ask yourself these 3 questions. And this is sort of some bonus teaching. This isn't part of what I'm offering, but it feels really true and real. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What is my desire? Is my desire to love and support and be compassionate for this human being? Is that my desire? Right? Is it within my capacity to do so? I might want to do something, but I might not currently have it within my capacity. And then thirdly, am I willing? Can I wake up that fire in my belly, that will center? And am I willing to be compassionate? Am I willing Like that means like we focus all of our fire, all of our attention, all the sparks in our internal world right in that direction of compassion, acceptance, love. So those are the three questions. I could do 4 fingers, but there's only 3 questions. Those are the 3 questions. What's my desire? Right? Is it in my capacity? And am I willing to do it? And what came of it really clearly in this glorious conversation with this amazing human being is she said, oh, you know what? I so desire it. It's so within my capacity. And I'm so willing to do it. And what I'm realizing is that when I lose myself somehow, I got to go back to that self-care piece because the well has started to run dry. And when the well runs dry, we might not feel as though we've got the capacity, or our capacity actually diminishes. Right? So these self-care practices bring us into deep connection with ourselves, others, and the world. And that might sound all foofy, but look out at the world. Look what's going on, especially if you're an American today. There's big stuff happening. There's big stuff that's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. If we as a culture, if we as women, we're able to expand our capacity, may our desire for love, connection, community, integrity, goodness, may those things, laced with the capacity to hold that sort of space, to do what needs to get done in a way that's going to support ourselves, others, and the world. Then laced with and in deep connection with our will center, are we then able, once again, to do what needs to get done, whatever that looks like. So this is the power of the 5 senses. Those 5 senses, when we turn our attention to them, you drop everything in right here. Be the change that you want to see in the world. These are not words that Gandhi said. These were essential aspects of what he lived. What Mahatma Gandhi, that great soul, Mahat means great, Gandhi, soul. So what that Mahatma Gandhi was able to live, right, as a way in which to more deeply connect to our own hearts, to the hearts of one another, and to the heart of the world. I'm going to take a little pause. I'm going to read a few things here and say hear what's going on. Mary said, life happened this morning. Woke up to my husband gently waking me to help him. The cat was freaking out, and when he checked the basement, the cat box and food area was floating. Life's just happening here. It's been raining, and then 2 more rains last night. Oh well, it's sunny today. Yeah, that's right. Oh well. Oh well, this is a friendly mystery. How do we keep turning our attention to what we can do right here, right now? If you gotta cry in those situations, cry. If you gotta scream, scream, and then let it pass through you, right? Let it move in and through you. You got a little flooding going on, but that flooding's not got you, right? That's what we're going for. I had the same sort of thing happen this morning. I got up, I was like, oh, my body was heavy. It's raining here a lot too. Had high aspirations to go for a run. Wasn't really happening quite the way that I wanted it at that moment. Hadn't arisen quite as early as I'd hoped. I was an hour later. Got up. I started to make my tea. I use a French press, so I'll explain this. So every few days I make a fresh container of cashew milk, and today was my day. So what I do is I take my nuts, my cashews, and I put them in my bullet. I put a tiny bit of Himalayan salt and just a little glove of maple syrup and a little tiny bit of vanilla. So I put it all in there, and then I go and I get my green tea, and I take my green tea and I take a scoop of my green tea, raw green tea leaves, and I drop it into my French press so that I've got my cashew milk getting ready, and I'm waiting for hot water for that. I'm waiting for hot water for my green tea. And I don't know where I was or what I was thinking, but I took that green tea and I put my cashews on top of my green tea and put my maple syrup in there. So now I have a French press with cashews and green tea and some salt and a little bit of maple syrup. And somehow I didn't even catch it at that moment. I think it was my pre-green tea. And I walked over and got the hot water from the stove and turned around and I poured hot water over the top of all of it. And then I realized I had a big old mess to deal with. So then I had this great idea. I'll just put it all in the bullet and I'll blend it all. I'll blend my green tea also today, and then I'll just strain it off. That was a great idea until I took I want to call it a Vitamix because I have one of those too. I took the bullet off, and as I lifted the container from the bullet, the blade didn't come with it. So now I had hot green tea leaves, water, chunks of cashew, maple syrup, salt, all over my counter and down onto my pajamas and the floor. And I was like, is this how we're going to start our day? Surprise party! I guess it is exactly how we're going to start our day. And I could have gone all out there, but I was just like, no, it's all good. Just going to take me a moment or two. I thought, what song can I sing? Oh, what a day, glorious, gather round. There's nothing better than a friend. So what song? I just started singing. So, you've got those options, right? And when you practice laying down relaxation response, that's where you go more frequently. So hoping you're getting some of that as well. Marion, you're flooding. Vata's going crazy. Where are you? Who's saying that? I just see Facebook user at the moment. It says Vata's going crazy. I know, surprise party, Tracy. It was all for me. Raw or toasted cashews? Raw, Sarah. Raw. Raw cashews. I take a little handful. I just do a glove of maple syrup, a little bit of Himalayan sea salt, and a hint of vanilla. And I do hot water because I don't really let it soak for a long time. I just let it soak for maybe 10 minutes. And then I blend it. You don't have to strain it off with cashew milk. And that'll literally last me probably 2 days before it goes bad, which I love. Not that it goes bad, but I love that it's that fresh. It's really yummy. And so then when I have my green tea, it grounds me. I don't just get that caffeine, which for me gives me the jitters. This way I have that sort of grounded, stable energy. There it is. All right, Des, good morning. There you are. Look at there's from Michigan. Gorgeous. Baja, Mexico. We have more Mexico, right? 2 of us in Mexico. Sweet. Palm Springs, California. Awesome. Hi, Sherry. Alrighty, so talking about these 5 glorious senses. So when we enter into the 5 senses, we go straight on into the body, and that's where we want to be, because that's where it all happens. That's where the magic's going to happen. And so when we are in our physical bodies, connected to our 5 senses, when I notice what I'm hearing, what I'm tasting, what I'm smelling, what I'm seeing, and what's touching my skin and what my skin is touching, and the way that my skin is interacting with the space around it in the world at large, whether it be the coolness of this wall, right, or the cushion of my seat, or at the moment I'm standing at my stand-up work desk and I'm feeling my flip-flops, my indoor flip-flops right on the undersides of my feet and the little spacer between my toes, right, I'm feeling all these sorts of things, the cotton of my cargo pants against my skin. I'm just feeling all these things. I'm feeling my tongue in my mouth. I'm feeling the stickiness of my lip gloss, right? Can I even feel a little bit of the heaviness of my earrings in my ears, my rings on my fingers, my bracelet on my wrist? I'm just right here. When I'm right here, guess what? I can't be anywhere else. And the reality is if I want to make changes, it's all going to start right here. That change that I'm seeking out there, it's got to start right here. That's what Gandhi was there to teach us. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Oh yeah, reprogram your nervous system. Keep coming back to the relaxation response. That's what it's all about. All right, so when we are in our physical bodies, we can gather information. And then life, when big things happen, we go, whoops, speed bump, whoa. Right? So we have less reaction, less, as we say through the yogic tradition, less reaction, some of you know this, less frequency of reaction, less intensity of reaction, and a quicker recovery time. So there it is. Yeah, so that's it. But Sarah says, LOL, a tunk and a foot vanilla. I get that from my mother. My mother does that. She goes, I just make it, just put a glove of this in and a foot of that. And it's right. It means it's up to you. It's your own internal organic decision. So listening to and tending to those 5 senses, your 5 senses are the gateways. When you get in here, guess what? That's where you can go everywhere. You can travel. You can travel into your highest potential only from right here. And that's what we're going for. You can travel to the visions and the perspectives and the places and the dreams and the evolutions. You know this, right? You sit down, let's say you're dreaming something up. You're dreaming up a beautiful party, or you're dreaming up you're drawing out a home or a new project or a new program or whatever it may be, a garden, right? And you go, okay, I just gotta like put everything aside. I gotta organize myself. I gotta lay it all out. I just gotta be right here with myself, with my dreams, with my body. And then it starts to come. So all those visions, everything that you want to tap into and tether to, every new world order, every way in which that you see the potential of your family, your relationship, it all starts right here. There's no way around it. So I can't drive that home enough. And how do we get in there? We go in and through those 5 senses. Because when things start to go just a little bit off, right, we might catastrophize things. We might think things are way bigger than they are right here, right now. Doesn't mean they're not going to get way worse, but what we do know is that more than 90% of the things that we worry about never actually come to pass. Not like we dreamed them or visioned them, but we sure spend, aka waste, a lot of energy going down that rabbit hole. So perhaps we're just better off staying right here, filling this well, cultivating goodness right here, right here, right here, right here, until I'm overflowing, and that goodness is making good things in my life, in my world, in the world of those I love, in the world of those that I touch at the gas station, on the freeway, at the bank, on the internet, and my Facebook page, and in the world at large. That's how we do that. Okay, so that's how we consciously bring things back into alignment. So we're going to go ahead and go right on into these 5 ways. And I'm just going to lay them out for you. Again, you don't have to do all of them by any means. And we're going straight from your workbook. So if you haven't gotten your workbook yet, go ahead and get your workbook. Just go to brittbsteele.com. There's a thing that says 5-day self-care challenge. If you register, even if you're already here right now, just register for that. What you're going to find is immediately you're going to get an email, and it's going to have the workbook, the PDF of the workbook right there for you. All right, so day 3, awaken all 5 senses. All right, so your 5 senses, I'm just going to take a little yogic lesson, slip this in here because it's one of my favorites. So we can imagine that our life is like we are in a chariot, right? And there's 5 horses, and those 5 horses are pulling the chariot, moving our life. Those 5 horses are the 5 senses, right? Those 5 horses, when they're all working together and going toward goodness, we have no problems. But when those 5 horses are each doing their own thing, one's freaking out, one's numbing out, dumbing down, another one's being overstimulated by this, that, or the other thing, another one is like totally zoning out and not even present, another one is totally excessively taking in food and drink, etc. For example, another one's taking in artificial things. Those things are all going in different directions. Your life is like this. It's just what happens. So I'll give you a real example, 5 senses. So let's say that I'm living this life and I'm listening to the news. I'm listening to what's going on in the world, and it's a lot of catastrophizing. It's talking about what could happen. It's all the bad things. It's arguing, it's judgment, it's pride, it's fear, it's violence, it's all that stuff. That's what's going in the ears, right? That's what I'm getting in the ears. And then my eyes are seeing those images, and I'm receiving all of those, and I'm spending hours a day doing that. I'm seeing pictures of people that make my tummy turn, and I'm seeing situations and violence and experiences that I don't understand and make me feel disconnected and make me feel separate and above in some ways, or below, or at risk of being attacked, or all of this stuff that's happening in your ears and in your eyes. Those things are happening. And then your skin, like you can't even hardly feel your skin, but you put some Vaseline brand lotion or Nivea lotion on your skin, and there's a whole bunch of synthetic materials, but you put that on your skin this morning. Or maybe you sprayed yourself with perfume, and that perfume is artificial, and your body's going, well, what am I supposed to do with this? These are chemicals you just put into my body. And then you're not, all this stuff's going on and you're like, I'm starving and I've been sitting at the internet all day long and I don't have any energy and I don't know what to make for food. So let's just go to Pizza Hut. Right, and then no, let's not go to Pizza Hut. Let's go to, I'm gonna go get we're gonna make this really great macaroni and cheese, and it's gonna be loaded up with lots of cheese and heavy stuff because I'm feeling all energetically wiped out, and oh, I'm just zinging, and oh, somebody give me a vodka tonic. Somebody give me a glass of wine. So then all that happens, and you see what just happened? Full on. The only way I know how to describe it is full on numb out and dumb down. That's not what we're going for. We're going for grounded, fluid, nourished, inspired, and free. I can see what's happening in the world. I receive it. I put it in its place. I carry on. That's what I'm going for again and again and again and again and again. To be totally present, to not deny anything that's happening, but not get sucked in and down from it. So just, Des said, I need this. Hypervigilance with my surroundings is pulling me off center today. Yeah, so it happens to me too. Just for the record, I've been doing this like my whole adult life, and I too get like sucked off my own center. The work is, how do I come back as quickly as possible? How do I not go down that funky little alleyway of shame and blame and judgment and what's wrong with me and I should know better and all that, because all that stuff just keeps us right there stuck in that place. We don't have the energy to get out. Like you curl up in a ball and self-blame, self-shame, doubt, all that stuff just keeps us right there. I just got to go grounded, feel the earth beneath my feet, feel my skin, feel my pants on my body, feel my tongue in my mouth. Grab a berry, grab a leaf, right? Water with lime, take whatever it is that I need. Essential oils, that lavender we talked about yesterday. Oh, could use some of that right now. Okay, yeah, that's feeling like a really good idea. We'll take some of that. Right. Bring it all in, soften through the eyes. Oh, look, there's some beautiful flowers. Take those in, perhaps. Right? How do we do that? How do we stay connected to those five senses? Mm-hmm. All right, Sarah's saying, would you speak to ADD with this, within this context? Absolutely. I'll be right back to that in a moment. So let us carry on. So your 5. Oops! Look, I see a typo. To illuminate your heart. To illuminate your heart. Step number 1, illuminate your heart. This is number 1, right? So these are the ways that I'm going to say connect us to the 5 senses. So how is it that I illuminate my heart? So if I'm wanting to awaken the 5 senses, I am doing this in a way that I am able to illuminate. I look for anything and everything in my life that is going to bring more lightness of being into my life. These flowers are that. My screensaver is that. The pictures that I have around me, the things that I see, the things that I choose to look at, my screensaver, as I said, my homepage on the internet, those are the ways in which that I illuminate my heart. I bring light in and through my whole being so that my heart feels free, so that I feel a lighter state of being. The second one is music to let go, right? Talking in to this, touching in to this. What does this come down to? This comes down to, I use music to come in and through my ears so that I can stimulate my entire physical body to feel more grounded. So if I say illuminate your heart, I'm using that as my eyes. I want to bring in everything and anything that I can, so that my heart feels light. Pictures of babies, great. Like I remember when this wonderful yoga teacher in Portland had been diagnosed with cancer, and she'd been going through this long cancer journey. And what she posted on Facebook was, please, as many kitten pictures and kitten posts and kitten videos as you can come up with. I want to see them all. So she was lightening her heart through those little kitten videos and kitten posts. We can do the same. Gifts do that, right? But we got to be really careful, Right? We got to be really careful, full of care. Keep turning my attention. Does this give me a sense of lightness or a sense of darkness, a sense of lightness or a sense of heaviness? We got to just keep ourselves, just like I said in the first day, second day, today's your third day, actually your fourth because of day 0. How do I turn my attention to the sunlight? Keep turning my attention to the lightness of being. That's why I illuminate my heart. Open my ears so that the music that I hear is stimulating me in a way that is bringing me more closely to the ground, more rooted, right, in all those ways. So we're just going to take a tiny little pause here. I'm going to share with you one little piece of music that moves me. You'll hear this again, but you heard one already. You heard Mom Muse. I won't play this whole song, but I just want to give you a little feel of it. It's one of my favorites. Let me see if I can. There we go. Turn that off. Turn that back on. I just want you to feel this. There we go. Here it is. There we go.
I've decided to be happy. I've decided to be glad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I've decided to let go of all this pain tonight. I've decided to let go of all these demons inside. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I know I don't need more. I've got what I came for.
We'll leave it at that. Enough said. By the time your body receives those sounds, that inspiration, that high vibration, every cell in your body has already said yes. So if we look out through our eyes, we illuminate our heart so that there is light in our heart, we feel lighter. That starts in and through the eyes. It starts through all the senses. I'm just picking the eyes as this option. And then I'm opening my ears to receive all those sounds that raise me up again and again. That piece of music is called Kinder, and the artist is Copper Women, Wimmin, Copper Women. The song is called Kinder. So then movement to let go. So I'm using my skin. I'm touching on into my skin. And how am I doing this? I'm moving my body. So I'm going to take that same piece of music again. I'm just going to go right here. And I'm going to come right back here again.
To be happy. I've decided to be glad. I've decided to be grateful for all I ever had. I've decided to let go of all this pain tonight. I've decided to let go of all these demons inside. I know I am blessed. I know all I ever wanted was this. I know I don't need more. I've
movement to let go. So that wasn't intended to be all pretty. It wasn't a dance performance. It was, what do I feel in my body? How do I move the energy? It doesn't necessarily look gorgeous. It's wiggling, it's shaking, it's patting, it's sighing, it's opening and closing the mouth, moving the jawline. It's massaging the body from the bottom up. It's running energy up the body as such. It's crazy things. It's also moving like a cat moves, shaking things off the way a dog shakes things off, yawning, stretching, allowing the whole being to move the energy out. To move the energy out. Because you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again, that 100 years ago or so, what was happening is that we automatically had to move the energy out. Now we don't have to so much. 100 years ago or so, we had cows to milk and water to fetch and flour to grind and wood to cut. And now we don't have those things so much and in the same intensity. And so we sit and we bring things in through our ears and our eyes and our nose and our skin and our mouth, and then we go sit on the couch. And that's not working for us. It's making it so that we don't want to live in these bodies. It's making it harder to stay here, so then we further leave. I'm wanting to bring us right on back and in through these five senses, because this is where your power is. This is where you get, gain, hold on to, and move your power in your own life, in the lives of others, and in the world at large. So we illuminate our heart through our eyes. We listen to music to allow us to let go. We move the body. It doesn't matter when you're doing it. You don't need it to be with music. It can just be that sort of shake it off. One of my favorites is Ashwini Mukha Pranayam. Inhale to the crown of the head. Horse-faced lips. Inhale. Drool in a little. Just heard my partner doing it. My partner is doing the same thing in the other room. So just loving that. There it is. It's just some of the ways that we tap into. So now living close to the earth. This is the next self-care step for these five senses. So how is it that we do this? When we live close to the earth, right? We are essentially bringing in through our tongue and through our nose, one way of those or the other. We're feeling our feet on the earth. Some of you mentioned, I remember some of you, I think it was Karen Steele mentioned, every day kicking off her shoes, no matter what the weather. And she lives in Connecticut, so there's snow there, and letting her feet touch the earth. Why would I do that? Why would I let my feet touch the snow? Because it brings you right back into your body. Walking outside in the rain, putting your feet on that wet grass. Not just on that wet concrete, but on that wet grass, in that wet dirt. So you get a little dirty, never you mind. Right? So in that way, you're living close to the earth. You're smelling the rain. Right? You're doing all these things. And then finally, number 5 is to touch and be touched. So yet again, we go in and through the skin. We let the skin touch and be touched. We place our hands on our bodies in any way, shape, and form. We self-massage, we palpate, we massage our own bones and shift the bones in our scalp. We move all these things around in and through. So there's overlap here, but these are the 5 that I offer up to you. Choose one. Let things come in and through your eyes. Let music come in and through your ears. Stay close to the earth. Eat foods. Smell nature. Let your feet touch the earth. Eat foods that are real, like an apple or a mango. Less processed foods, more close to the earth sorts of foods. Let your body move to let go. Physically, eyes, ears, nose, skin. Let your eyes look all over. Breathe deeply in and through the nose. Breathe completely out through the mouth. Listen to music. Listen to the sounds around you. Let your body move in all sorts of rhythms so that you can free yourself from being held back or held down. And then finally, to live close to the earth is that eating and staying close to the earth through the foods that you eat, through the smells that you take in, through feet on the earth, and then finally touch and be touched. Sit close to those who you love. Reach out and touch a puppy, a child, a plant, a live plant. Touch and be touched. Touch your own body. Massage your own body, rub your own belly for digestion. Lift your own buttocks. Why would I do that? Because there's muscles in there that get really tight and I want to keep waking them up, right? Touch and be touched. So these are the 5. So your senses are your eyes, your ears, your nose, your skin, and your tongue, and you want all of them moving in the direction of freedom. You want to feel a solid foundation beneath you. You want to feel as though you can shape shift like water and be fluid, to go with things when things go crazy and to come on back when things are at ease, right? In these ways that we're connecting to all of these. So this is how we go. These are the 5 awakening of the senses. So that's all I've got. I'm just going to come on in and see questions. Dancing with you. Who are the musicians? Sweet words. So we listened to Muse, and the song was Glorious. That was the first one. And then Copper, Women, WIMMIN, women, like I'm a woman. So we are women, but it's WIMMIN. And the song is called Kinder. That's the artist. There it is. Are you using lime for cooling? I use lime for lime has prabha. Mary, we say lime has prabha. So lime, it has internal intelligence. So it's cooling for me. It could be cooling for you too. Sarah said, would you speak to ADD with this in context? What I will say about ADD, I won't speak about ADD specifically. What I'll speak about is that ADD through the lens of yoga and through the lens of Ayurveda, which is largely my background, is deeply a connection to one of the dhatus, or the systems of the body related to the nervous system. And so through these, when we get in and move in and through the 5 senses, and we return to the natural rhythms of our own the natural rhythms of the planet and the light, and move in and through our 5 senses, when we do that, when we are able to do that, we are able to connect more completely, more fully to a grounded and rooted nervous system, and we have less attention deficit disorder. I won't call it that condition or dis-ease. I'm just saying that when the nervous system is grounded, and we are in a world that is what we could consider vata deranged through the lens of yoga, and that just says that we have way too much overstimulation in general, which then lends itself very beautifully for a whole bunch of ADD diagnoses. All right, so that's that. There it is. All right, beloveds, any other questions? Anything else that's rising for you? Right, okay. Surprise party. Vata's going crazy, indeed. So there it is. All right, illuminate your heart, music to let go, movements to let go, living close to the earth, touch and be touched. Awaken all 5 of your senses. Here we are, sending you so much love. We'll be coming back here tomorrow, yet again, for day 4 of Heal Your Home. Big love to you, sweet day. We got new comments. All right, thank you. All right, big love to you. Awesome chat today. Very good. All right, thank you. Big love. See you soon. Ciao.